Baby Buggy was founded in 2001 by Jessica Seinfeld after the birth of her daughter. She noticed that her baby was quickly outgrowing items, and she wanted to get them directly to a family in need, but there was no mechanism for her to do so. As the daughter of a social worker, she'd always been socially active and couldn't let go of this unmet need. She decided to test the concept with a drive, and New Yorkers of all backgrounds stepped up to donate their gently used items. Following this successful outreach, corporations like the Children's Place heard about the project and started donating their excess inventory to Baby Buggy. It was clear she was on something. She felt compelled to continue with it. Jessica's husband, Jerry, came up with the motto "Love Recycled," which so perfectly sums up what we do. We think of Baby Buggy as a mechanism for families and corporations to give back to their neighbors in need. With the help of tens of thousands of donors, we've kept over 5.4 million items out of landfills, donating them instead to thousands of families who put them to good use. The need for Baby Buggy donations is great. Sadly, 1 in 5 American children is living in poverty. We aim to provide economically disadvantaged parents with necessary childcare items like cribs, coats, diapers, and other costly but necessary articles to keep these children safe and healthy. Here's a fact that always puts the economics into perspective for me. A single mom in New York City or LA has to work 2 hours at her minimum wage job to be able to afford 1 pack of diapers. Currently, we're working with a pro bono group at Bain Consulting to make our recent scale-up program sustainable in other cities. Here's why. We started collecting donations in New York City in 2001. Then, in 2010, we were fortunate to enter into a partnership with Target that allowed us to scale up on a limited basis. With the support of a very large grant and $300,000 in products from Huggies, Boppy, and Avent, we were able to distribute goods through Nurse Family Partnership and other organizations in Los Angeles, Chicago, Dallas, and Washington, D.C. This program was a test pilot on what national expansion would look like. It became clear that we had many donors in Los Angeles who wanted to give, so we opened a warehouse there. We've now distributed over 110,000 items to families in LA alone. With additional funds, we could continue our outreach across the nation. Baby Buggy is successful because we leverage our partnerships with other social work programs. Our primary mission is to provide poor and vulnerable families with the items they need to keep their children safe and protected. But our approach to helping them is unique. We make our donations through a network of proven anti-poverty programs like Harlem Children's Zone or Nurse Family Partnership. In this way, we feel good about providing for parents' short-term needs while they're enrolled in programs that will help their self-sufficiency over the long term. For example, parents who attend a 5-week financial literacy class at a Baby Buggy site receive donations of diapers. And those parents who meet goals like bringing down their credit scores or opening savings accounts receive additional donations of clothing, diapers, and so on. We've heard from programs like Nurse Family Partnership that our donations keep their staff motivated to help clients through particularly challenging times. One nurse told us of the joy she felt when she was able to bring a crib, diapers, and baby clothing to a teen mom who was working so hard to try to make a life for herself and her baby when her own childhood was marred by the horrors of sexual abuse. From an operations standpoint, we're effective because we have over 5,000 volunteers working with us each year. They help us keep our operations lean. In fact, in 2011, 81 cents of every dollar donated to us went straight into our programs. I think our effectiveness comes down to this. Our donations are needs-based. We operate from a monthly request form given to us from social workers. Then we fill donation requests based on the exact needs of the parents in the program. We're lucky to have a stats manager who tracks both our inventory and the items requested through the social workers. This helps us to better understand the needs of the parents we're serving. For example, in the past year and a half, breast pumps rose to the top 10 most requested items. With this new information, we've sought out donations from companies like Lancinoa Medela, as well as used some of our own funds to purchase them. We measure our success by tracking the number of donations given versus the number of requests made. For example, we aim to meet 75% of requests for critical gear items like cribs and breast pumps. These items are the most costly to purchase and are also the ones we can't accept gently used. So our staff is working hard to find retailers and manufacturers with an excess inventory, or we try to purchase them wholesale. The growth in our volunteer program is also a great measurement of our success. In January 2012, we had over 300 volunteer groups working with us. A typical volunteer group can help us mend 80 bins of clothing in only 2 hours. Their hard work allows us to be incredibly efficient with our time and human resources. We also have program-related metrics which allow us to measure our success. A good example is the Credit Where Credit is Due program. This is a financial literacy program that helps low-income parents bring down their credit scores, open savings accounts, etc. The typical graduation rate from this program previously was 75%. Once Baby Buggy started making donations, their graduation rate increased to close to 90%. Not surprising given the baby in our name, some people think that we only provide donations for babies. However, we provide items for children up to age 14. Another thing that people don't understand is the sophistication of our donations. In some ways, you can think of us as a foundation choosing to make our investments in the best social service programs. The sites who receive our donations have to apply to us on a yearly basis and send in regular reports. We hope to make their work all the more effective by keeping their clients motivated over the long term. We celebrated our 10-year anniversary in 2011, which is truly amazing. And we've distributed over 5 million items to hundreds of thousands of families in need, including 6,300 cribs and 5,200 strollers. Plus, we're honored to say that over 19,000 volunteers have helped play a part in making all of this happen. But more than anything, it's the stories of the families that we serve that make us the most proud. For instance, an unemployed mother said that it was Baby Buggy donations that gave her the security she needed to leave her abuser. And we helped a single dad who would have lost custody of his baby to child services because he couldn't afford a crib, diapers, and other items. We prevented the separation and made him feel secure enough to raise his child until he got a new job. Then there was a single mom who couldn't afford the 2-week supply of diapers that her daycare required. Our donation allowed her to keep her child in daycare, which then allowed her to keep her job. We are so thankful that our donor pool and number of volunteers have increased dramatically since the recession. We know that many nonprofits haven't been this lucky. Several people told us that they refocused their giving on Baby Buggy since we serve America's most vulnerable population. Sadly, though, the need for our donations has grown at an even higher pace, causing us to need additional funding in order to meet this ever-growing need. Sadly, we can never get enough diapers, cribs, or car seats. These are costly items that we can't accept gently used for safety reasons. And these are 3 of our top 10 most requested items. We have a small fund to purchase these for families in New York City and LA at wholesale, but we'd love to raise funds to purchase even more. Our model is fairly simple and scalable. With additional resources, we could scale up our work in Los Angeles and in other cities. We know there are local families and companies who can help. We just need more funds to implement our program.